Welcome everyone. It's mid-February, which means it's almost Valentine's Day, and there's definitely something sweet in the air. I was invited to join a collab with a few other doll artists with the challenge of turning a pastry or dessert into a doll character. We thought this would be a delicious little theme for this holiday. Make sure you check out all the other dolls involved in this collab. The artists are Enchantarium, Josephine's Creatures, Kay's Oak Factory, Kiro's Workshop, Val Kitty's World, and Celine. They'll all be linked in my description box below. For my doll, the pastry I chose was a Bilberry Pie, otherwise known as Wild Blueberry Pie. Just having the words wild and berry together, I instantly knew what base I wanted to use. This is a Clawvenus doll, honestly a rather strange one since it comes from the Freaky Fusions line of Monster High and is a hybrid of their Claudine and Venus dolls. I received this doll already prepared for customizing, so the first thing I'll do is chop off her ears. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of them, just moving them down her face to create a cuter, more whimsical and less wolf-like look. I play around with the position a bit before gluing them into their new place. I actually ended up switching the left and right ear. A small change, but the way the ends flicked out just felt more natural to me this way. This does mean that her earring holes are at the top of her ear instead of the bottom, but I think a cute pair of dangly earrings will make that look good. To patch up the two big holes in her head, I heat up some Warbler thermoplastic with my heat gun. The Warbler becomes sticky when it's heated, so I don't even need to use glue. It's a super easy fix. I spray her face twice with Mr. Super Clear Matte Varnish to create a paper-like texture to draw on, and I can start creating her face up using my favourite watercolour pencils. I start sketching out her new eye shape, firstly in green and then red for the waterline and black for the upper lash line when I'm confident that I like the shape. I decide to give her brown eyes. My first idea was to give her blue eyes like the berry she's inspired by, but I wanted to push my use of colour in this creation, and I thought brown eyes would add a more complex look to the final colour palette. I then add some pink blush to her face. I actually end up removing most of the blush that I added to her cheeks here, choosing to focus the pink blush in the centre of her face around her nose, like she's been sun-kissed or even sunburnt from spending too much time out frolicking with the wild berries. Also, removing some of the blush from the outskirts of her face created a nice canvas for me to add some dark green contours, without mixing the colours too much and making them muddy. One of the rules of this collab was to choose a dessert or sweet from a country that we live in or that was in our history some way. My grandparents are from Scandinavia and northern England, which are both places where the bilberry grows naturally, and both areas also developed their own recipe for bilberry pie. I am very naturally drawn to monochromatic colour stories, and as I mentioned before, I really wanted to challenge myself with this doll. I found so much colourful inspiration in this character, from the deep indigo colour of the blueberry, to the pinks and paler blues when the berry is not quite ripe yet, the different shades of green accompanying the berry's foliage, and the beautiful shades of brown that come with the pastry of the pie. I loved the challenge of mixing all these colours together and still coming up with a cohesive final product. I am actually so proud of the final colour palette, and this project has really inspired me to push my use of colour even further, although I do still love a monochromatic palette. It wasn't until I was well into this project that I realised the similarities it shares with a beautiful doll executed by the very talented HU Dolls here on YouTube. She's already made a Cloudberry doll using this same Clawvenus as a base, and it must have really stuck in my head because without realising it, I've also made a berry themed doll with this base. You should definitely hop over to her channel, watch that video and hit the subscribe button because she is such a talented artist and I know you will all love her content. For her dress, I start sewing together the bodice pieces with some patterned white fabric which will act as an undershirt. I love the effect that this patterning has, bringing a beautiful detail without being overpowering. I attach the sleeves and the piece around the décolletage, but will add the painted details before I sew up the side seams. I wanted this dress to encompass both Scandi and British fashion elements. From the English side, I draw this more cottage-core type inspiration, but the design elements are definitely more Scandinavian, with a floral pattern pulling reference from both Norwegian rosemaling and the symmetrical folk art of the Nordic countries. Of course, the floral design is depicting the bilberry at its different stages of ripeness, from the full dark berry to the smaller and lighter and more pink baby berries. I decorate the skirt piece in the same way, but this time the design also includes some of the bilberry flowers, which are these very sweet little blossoms, similar to bluebells in their shape, but blooming in shades of white and pink. Once the painting is all done, I can join the bodice and skirt at the waistline and the dress is almost complete. I wanted to add some more blue to the design, so I glued tiny bows to each sleeve as well as a large one to the centre of her neckline. To the ends of this ribbon I add a jump ring decorated with blue tassels. It's quite common in Swedish and other traditional Scandi fashions to decorate their dresses with tassels, and I really wanted to include this element. I also quickly whipped up an underskirt for her to wear, adding more detail and volume to the garment. For her shoes, I choose these adorable little ankle boots which I just love. They're originally a light green colour, but I had previously attempted to dye them purple for a different project, but it didn't really work out. Anyway, I paint them a lovely forest green colour, and then proceed to dry brush them with a lighter green to help bring out the sculpted details. I also go in with a darker green to paint in some artificial shadows and to add as much contrast and details as possible. I paint the little attachments that hold onto the laces a bright gold to tie into the gold that she has around the tassels. The shoes still didn't feel totally complete to me, so I also paint the sole part of the boot brown as a final detail. I wanted to give her some cute lacy socks, but to ensure that the shoes still fit her well, instead of constructing a complete sock, I simply glue some lace trim around the opening of the boot. To give this girl the look as if she had just returned from picking some wild berries, I 3D print this little basket. I found the file on Thingiverse and it's just so cute. I'll have it linked in my description box below if any of you want to find it. After printing and priming it, I give it a coat of dark brown paint, mixing different tones to give it an organic and natural look. Since the basket is woven from natural materials, it wouldn't be a perfect cohesive colour. With the base coat down, I dry brush the basket with a lighter tone of brown to bring out all the sculpted details. I cut a square of light blue fabric and glue the centre of it to the inside bottom of the basket. I then drape the four corners of the fabric evenly over the edge of the basket. I bought these faux berries online, but I'm not really happy with the paint job that they came with. To try and combat that very light blue paint, I give the berries a coat of watered down purple paint. Once that had dried, I used some pan pastels in navy, purple and black to perfect the colour and also add some depth around the frilly tip of the berry. I'm sure that bit has a proper name, but I have no idea what it is. I also have these flowers that I want to customize to make them look more like the bilberry blossom. I spray the flowers with a layer of MSC before going in with pastels to create a pink gradient at the flower's end. I also add a bit of green to where the flower grows from the stem for added realism. I assemble the basket with my newly customized flowers and berries, as well as adding some extra leaves and foliage. For her hair, I choose this beautiful pale blonde yarn, which I turn into wefts. I go into much more detail on how I make hair for my dolls in other videos, so you can check them out if you're interested. I pull all her hair back into a low ponytail, leaving some free strands in the front, which will frame her face when I heat style them later on. I then split the ponytail into two and braid each section. I pull the braids towards the front of her head, creating a little milkmaid inspired style. To complement this hairstyle, I want to give her a wreath to wear on her head. I create the base out of florist wire and start gluing on the same accessories that I used to fill her basket. The final step is to add her earrings. Using the same blue tassels from before, I just add a few gold eyelets and attach them to her pre-existing piercings with my pliers. And with that, she's all done. I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of this dessert, and I hope you liked this different interpretation of a Valentine's Day theme. Don't forget to check out all the other dolls in this collab, they're all just so sweet. Without further ado, I present my Bilberry girl. I hope you love her. Thank you so much for watching, your support means so much to me. Make sure you like the video if you like it, and leave a comment below, I read every single comment. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and I'll see you next time. Have an awesome day.